Yeah, man, let's do this.
Let's do this. So, Josh, this is an intervention. we wanted to bring you here today. It's an intervention.
I knew where this was going. It was set up.
Every day it's a text with, "Hey, I wrote another article. I shot another video." So we're having an intervention today. In all seriousness, some good stuff coming out. Kind of tell us what's going on with you guys, and what you can see on streamsemester.com right now from you.
Hey, well, man, I don't know what it is, but I have kind of hit like a stride. I got a text from Russell the other day. I forget, what did you say? I was like, that I was a man on a mission.
Yeah.
And it's stuff in the classroom. It's like personal projects. For some reason, I'm just cranking stuff out right now. And I'm loving the feeling of being more creative. You can't really see it right now, but like back behind me, I've got a Blackmagic camera set up, run into the ATEM switcher, and I have another camera set up pointed at that, and I'm creating tutorial videos on how to use the Blackmagic. So I went through all the menu settings, which is a frustration. Feature request, if you know some Blackmagic employees. I wish there was a way to get their menu out and like send it out HDMI so you can actually record the Blackmagic camera menu. So I haven't figured out how to do it. You could send a clean feed, which obviously, for some things is great, but then like even when you're not sending a clean feed, you still don't get the menu out. So I'm having to set up and record that. So going through all that and building a website at the school on which to house all of that information. So in the future, I can build my lessons based around the content that I'm creating now. It's a lot of work on the front end, but I think on the back end, I think that will really, really pay off.
Totally agree.
And so it's just kind of all connected, like everything, like just this productivity that I'm experiencing right now is all kind of like tied in together and wanting to be more and more, I guess, successful and organized and feel like a contributing human.
You're doing it, man.
Isn't it interesting how the snowball effect on things like this, like you are just at this point now where you're just create, and it just seems like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're doing more and more, and you do become kind of that man on a mission. You don't even realize it, but you look around and go, "Holy crap! I did 1,000 things today."
Yeah. I don't know if I did any of them well, but I did 1,000 things.
I've never had that feeling before. Never. It's a new experience.
So, Adam, what's going on with you? You added some VHS to the collection recently?
Yeah, we did. A few more. I got some Chuck Norris yesterday, Missing in Action 1, 2, as well as Invasion USA. So those were exciting moments in the Russell household.
So speaking of
Delta Force.
That's a great one. Yeah. If you find that, you may have to let me borrow.
What's the one with him and his dog, though? Norris and his dog. You know what I'm talking about? Another cover.
Oh.
It was kind of like a Turner and Hooch.
Man, I don't remember.
Do you know of it, though? Am I making that up?
Yeah, you're totally making that up. No, I don't know. It seems like I remember walking through Green's video in Carrollton and seeing that box. Like I feel like
it's like him with the dog.
It's like
Let me see.
like
Chuck
a German
Norris.
Shepherd, right?
I don't know.
It wasn't Benji.
No.
No, okay.
Chuck Norris dog movie.
So while you're looking that up, when I was a kid, 5th grade, 6th grade, middle school, one of the neighbors, one of my friends, his stepmom supposedly was in one of the Chuck Norris movies. So when you posted, when you texted us that last night, I went down the rabbit trail of, all right, let's see if Denise was really in and I couldn't find her. But did you know or notice, or have you noticed all the Atlanta that's in Invasion USA?
Yes.
Like Neil Bortz,
say that.
Monica Kaufman. Like there's a ton of Atlanta specific people in that movie that I found on IMDb last night as I was looking for my friend's stepmom, who supposedly was in there, but she wasn't.
So they filmed that in Atlanta, though, right?
Did they?
I'm thinking now that you say that, I'm recalling some memory. It's supposed to be Miami, I think.
I don't know. I was just blown away because I was going down. I was like, that says Monica Kaufman Pearson, and then
That's
it says
awesome.
Neil Bortz and that kind of stuff. And I just
Yeah.
was
Oh,
kind of
wow.
blown away by that. I was like, oh, I didn't even know
There
that.
you go.
Top Dog.
Top dog.
Yeah,
I'm looking for that now to complete the collection.
yeah, that's awesome.
That's it.
I'm going to say that I bet you don't have to go look in the annals of like Grammys or Emmys or anything like that to see how
No.
many
No.
they won on that one.
But in this world of VHS, though, it's just fascinating to get a copy of, let's say, like Slumber Party Massacre. It's like $70. If you want Texas Chainsaw Massacre, it's $200
Oh
on
my
VHS.
goodness.
Like the more obscure, especially horror movies, more obscure and kind of B level it is, it's pricey. It's weird. It's a weird little market.
So I picked him up a couple of VHS tapes, and so I sent those down to him today. Two interesting observations. One, if you buy a VHS from Goodwill, open the case and see what the movie is actually, because today it was just somebody's home video recording, which is going to have to be screened privately.
Yes. Private screening.
The other thing is I grabbed two Steven Seagal movies, and I tell him like your observation about Steven Seagal movies.
So I don't know if it's on purpose or what, but every Steven Seagal movie, you say Steven Seagal is under siege. Steven Seagal is marked for death. Steven Seagal is hard to kill.
Yeah.
Every single movie, Steven Seagal is whatever.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
It's like just the fact that he's in it. There's a verb at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
Like if it were Die Hard, it would be Steven Seagal kills hard.
Yeah, kills hard.
Right.
That's what it would be.
It's funny.
That's it.
A podcast I was listening to this morning was talking about how 80s movies, they're talking about Predator and specifically, and about how, there's nothing like that anymore. There's no real, go USA and we're going to take on the bad guys, and there's a clear good, there's a clear bad, and there's this variety of stars or celebrities that are in those movies. So
we live in the world of the anti-hero today.
Yeah.
Like it's thinking about like Batman, Walter White, everybody like now somehow idolizes broken characters, broken people as good characters, I guess.
Well, it's
but
like
who would be our counterparts to Stallone and Schwarzenegger? Action heroes.
The Rock.
Kind of.
Would he not?
He makes terrible action movies, I feel like.
Yeah, and he also did
The Rundown was a great movie.
But he also did The Tooth Fairy.
Okay, he does some bad movies. Well,
we love the guy. Awesome.
Schwarzenegger did Jingle All the Way. And I love that movie.
And
I like
Kindergarten
watching it
Cop.
every year, but it's not, it's The Tooth Fairy.
But I feel like it's trying to be Chris Hemsworth. He's done a few like Google movies, like Netflix, like Extraction or something.
Yeah.
But in terms of just like a built 80s action hero.
Yeah. There's not. I mean, you look at Conan the Barbarian and things like that. There's not that. I mean, nothing like that at all. And the other thing about action movies now is they're all kind of tongue in cheek. Like Violent Night. I took TJ to see that. It was gory. It had some drama, but it was all tongue in cheek. It just was, was the Christmas Story retold in a more violent way.
Yeah.
So what's some big
know your genre? Sorry.
So what's some big wins for you guys this past week? What's going on that we should celebrate?
So big wins, is that what you said?
Yeah, big wins.
I guess again, just this man on a mission, the fact that I'm looking for ways to be more efficient, ways I'm looking to be more productive. The articles, I posted one today about how to, and I made a tutorial video and then I posted a blog about it, about how to customize the sequences in Premiere so that you can create things for social media, so that you can go 9x16 instead of 16x9 or 1x1, whatever. And I did that specifically because I'm doing a project with my kids, and I was like, I don't know why, but like I rolled the project out yesterday and last night. I'm like, this would have been a perfect thing for them to create a social media video. And so I came in today and was like, hey, by the way, I also want you to consider doing this way, and set up this video for them. And so hopefully they're going to go in and learn, something a little different. Another thing, like a win, and this just started last Monday. I was like, you know what? Like our show is humming. It's going really well. I think that, there are things obviously in every show that you would like to be better, but it was like these kids need more of a challenge. So I started forcing them to find more content. And I think we're up to, if you look at our rundown creator rundown, we are at about 20 to 25 lines on a 10-minute or 9.5 minute show. And that's up from probably, 12 at the most. So I've almost doubled the amount of content that we're putting into the show. And I was talking with the students today towards the end of the day, and they were like, why did you do this? I was like, because y'all were getting to be really good at what you were doing. And I want you to realize that you always need to be raising the bar. Like, you just don't want to be consistent. Like, you want to always be moving forward. So it was a win because they immediately, the first day I rolled that out, I put stuff in the rundown the day before, showed up, and we only had 5 students. And I was like, uh-oh. And they got it. They got it done. And I was
That's awesome.
That's it. From now on, this is what we do. And I don't care, what your excuse is. We did this with 5 kids. So the next day when I had 10 kids and they're looking at the rundown, I'm like, y'all got twice as many people, get it done. So it was a good motivator. So.
It was nice.
So when you say you went and found content, where'd you find it?
So we have, obviously it would be ideal if everybody knew, you'd think after 5 years they would, but like it would be ideal if everybody knew, okay, this is the email address for you to send us your announcements or story ideas or whatever. Well, about half of the things that we are using came in through that. And, that nothing changed in terms of the email. So it was going out to the school website, looking at the school calendar, being like, hey, what is this? Why do we not have anything on the show about this? And then we've got a newsletter that goes out called the Devil's Advocate. And so sending kids there and be like, hey, what are we doing about this? Like, these things are clearly needing to be promoted, and we're not getting it. So what can we do to do this? And so it's been fun challenging them to do that. It's actually been cool because I actually started to promote something. I was like, hey, I need a kid to go do an interview with this guy, it's one of our ROTC teachers. And I was like, go ask him what you need to know about this. And they go, and he's like, I don't want to promote that. I don't want to promote this. Or actually like over promoting. So I'd say that's probably a good situation. So.
But like y'all have done a nice job lately promoting stuff within the school, like much more like these are things going on in the school. I think you always have, but lately you seem to be more on top of it.
Yeah. And
I feel like,
yeah, we're just trying to maybe not make it as in depth, but like this is what's happening. And one thing that, and I don't know why this never occurred to me, but last week I was like, all right, if you say in a script, scan the QR code one more time, I'm going to just open the window and I'm going to throw you out. Because if people this day and age see a QR code, they know what to do with it if they want to. And so I was like, no more putting that in the script. And then I was like, wait a second. We still are going to have people who want the links. So the QR code can still go on the screen. That's fine. Just don't say it in the script. But if it has that, I want you to say, you can find the link for this in the description below. And so I've started taking the links to everything and putting them into our description. And the reason is, like, one, we don't have to say scan the QR code. the other is if people want this information, they now have to go back to our show and click on it and then get into the menu, which means we're getting more clicks and more views. And so ultimately, that's what I'm going for. For no reason, like we are not financially benefiting.
Yeah.
But I think it's the right thing to do. And it's just creating this repository of links so people can now know, oh, okay, this is all in one place.
Well, more important than that, I mean, not the financial side, you're creating habits that for the students make a big difference when they're trying to go to college, go to that first job, to be thinking about those financial things and getting people to loop in and stay in the mix. I mean, one of the things that that I see a lot of here at the college is the students don't know how to write a tease. They don't know how to. They don't think. I'm in the A block. I got a package about dogs. Everybody loves dogs in the E block. How do I get them from A to E? They don't think that way. They think, well, we're in the A block and up coming is the B block, and it's just interesting to see that, and I'm glad that you're thinking in that level of let's get them coming back, because that does later on manifest in the students of how do we get somebody to watch all the way through a show.
Yeah, hopefully. And by the way, I watched your behind the scenes from the like directing the show the other day, and that was awesome.
That was my big win this week.
It was?
Yeah, that was my win.
Yeah. Why don't you talk about it?
Yeah.
So one of the things that we do here at the university is we're with the Georgia Scholastic Press Association is based here at Grady, and as a part of that, Stephanie Moreno, who's the director, I don't mark me on her title, but she's the one who makes it all happen. She's awesome. She hosts tours regularly. Like we honestly, it's no exaggeration that we have a tour every Monday between now and the middle of April. And the schools always want to come when we're doing our live stream, when we're doing our show, but our room doesn't allow for that. Our control room doesn't allow for that. Our studio doesn't allow for that. Even our newsroom, you've got already 10 to 12 students in there that are the college students. Plus, yesterday we had a tour come through North Springs High School. Thanks, guys, for coming. And I want to say there were like 40 students. So there's nowhere to house that. And there's no way for us to kind of show everything that goes on in the control room with the switcher, with all the cameras. So I went into OBS since that thing I did earlier, or did in February. I'm loving OBS. Brought in an NDI feed of the multi-viewer of program, of our teleprompter, we've got a camera in the control room, we've got the 3 cameras on the floor, and we've got our 2 live view units. Put all of that together, and then brought in audio from the program feed as well as the director's feed, which is really all of the production. So if my floor manager tells a joke about a DJ's favorite sauce, as we're doing a show, you hear it. That happened in the first show that we recorded. So, I was like, hey guys, we've got to kind of maybe take it a little bit serious. By the way, the answer to that is marinara. Marinara. Yeah. And their son's name is Eric. So that way we can share a real true behind the scenes look. You're looking into the control room.
Smart.
And you're hearing the director speak. You're seeing what the tech director's punching. You're seeing the outcome of that. You're hearing the, oh crap, we're overtime, we're under time, or the shot's not working, or what have you. So that was a big win in terms of being able to share that out. But for me, in my role, I have to train those directors, those tech directors, all those people, so I can now see, for example, last night, my director, they're for some reason they really like to go through like 3 segments at a time and go, okay, we're going to do this and 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 this. And I'm trying to break them of that. But the problem is she was doing it during the show, and the tech director, every time she would say, and then we're going to take this, she would hit take. So it was like, oh, you're killing me. But it allowed me to show her, that cause and effect situation on that. So that was my big win last week. and we're posting them on our YouTube channel every show as long as it's appropriate. You know, the first show, our director kind of under her breath dropped an S bomb, and I was like, well,
Oh no.
you kind of hear it, you kind of go, is it that or is it shoot? So we left it out there, but
I didn't really hear it. Like,
gotcha.
so.
Well, good. That's a good thing. So, but yeah, that
Tell me
was.
this, with your sorry, Tom. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I say so. Your program, you're I guess the program you have there. How does that relate to schools around the country?
I dropped you there.
Oh,
Yeah, that was my bad.
So how does the Georgia broadcasting program compare to other schools, either in the region or South or country?
You know, it's hard to say. You know, if you look at who is the quote best or on the list, definitely on the list. But if you look at a school like Cronkite out at Arizona State and you see their videos and you see their stuff, I mean, their equipment is brand new. It looks new. It's crazy good. Same thing with Syracuse. It just kind of depends on what you want. You know, those guys don't have as diverse an offering as we have. I want to say there's like 27 like focuses inside of Grady. I mean, there's medical journalism, there's medical research, like there's so many subsects. So in terms of our program, I'm not going to say we're the best because we're not there yet in terms of on the back end and that kind of stuff. But you know, we've got students who are still in school and are already under contract. We had another one sign a contract last week.
Nice.
So you know that is a big difference for me. You know, at the high school level, it was, hey, Mr. White, I got into insert university, and now it's, hey, I'm going to go down to West Palm Beach and sign with the whatever company down there. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. And you know, we've got a bunch of our students are second to none in my opinion. They're my kids, and you know, we've got a bunch. You know, one of them announced that he's going to the Oklahoma Thunder to do some inside sales stuff. So there's a variety of routes that come out of there. But I think our show, considering lack of focus on the engineering side for the last couple of years, is coming along well. That's just me being egotistical.
That's nice. That's good to hear.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
So Adam, big wins for you?
So one big win is the kids, they had to write 3-page scripts a few weeks ago. And so we share a couple of those every class. And at first they didn't quite. So I'll say this. I don't think kids necessarily know how to make short films because they watch long narrative features or they watch like 7-second things on Insta or YouTube or something. Yeah. So I think like hitting that, telling a story and doing it in a shortened time span is an interesting skill for them to learn. So this past week, you know, they hear them talk about it. They would be like, oh, I think your main character needs to need or want something in the beginning. And then they're going to hit this obstacle and then they're going to learn something or either not learn from it. And it was good because our initial conversations were simply, oh, that was funny. I liked it. But now they're actually talking about story and character. So that's been good. So I'll mention this. We did this last week, a huge fail. I would say a monumental fail. Do you, Dempsey?
I don't know that I'd say it's a monumental.
Say catastrophic.
I think that it's. I think there's some growth opportunity.
Well, true.
We'll say it that way.
Well, true. So we did last week. We had an article on 4D filmmaking. 4D meaning instead of telling audiences what a character feels, like trying to use technical elements like sound, mise en scène, lighting. What am I missing? Framing, who knows? Framing, lens, anything like that to help tell a story, so the audience can feel it. And so we gave them this assignment that was, it was very short, and we're like, hey, we want to know how you're going to go from one emotion to the next, like maybe anger to sadness, and how are you going to use framing, the lens choice, as well as lighting to do this? And so it was just a lot. And what I found, and this quote came to me, it was good. It was a growth moment. As I'm watching this TV show about emotion, and it said the limits of our language are the limits of our world or experience, which means if I can't describe something in my experience, I can't it doesn't really exist to me. And I thought of that with our kids. because I don't know how many kids came to us and said, we don't know what you mean by framing, or we don't know what you mean by lens. Like, what? Like, how do you either, use a wide or a telephoto or just a 50 millimeter? Who knows? And so it let me know that we need to do a better job of teaching kids, like, here's the purpose of these different lenses and how they work. And then once you know that, here is how you can use them creatively, because we're asking kids to use these creatively and they don't really know how to use them just perfunctory or just, in a certain way. So it was eye-opening in that way. We kind of bit off more than we could chew, but I think we both went into it thinking, even if this is just a terrible experience today, like, we'll learn from it and be better next time. So we're open-minded about it. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I think that the next iteration of that we'll have it dialed in a little more, which hopefully will make it a better experience for the kids as well.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I always struggled with, and I still do, as I do presentations and that kind of stuff, that, the first time that the old, you're flying the plane as you're learning how to fly it.
Yep.
And no matter what, you're in a situation where you're seeing the holes in your plan as you're living it, and there's no real
100%.
way to undo that, so to speak. And that was always something that I struggled with, and I always tried to just kind of hyper focus, and I could never, no matter what, I could never find all the contingency plans for what worked and what didn't work. And also the kids changed. My favorite story like that is I was bombing absolutely just awful on teaching exposure. And I had this epiphany. I was like, oh, I still have no idea how light comes into a camera, hits this sensor, and comes out as a digital product. I have no idea. I always called it the magic rabbit.
Yeah.
And was teaching exposure, and it just hit me. Oh, the magic rabbit eats light. So, if it's got a big bowl, it's going to get more. And it just went off, and the kids got it and they loved it. And I was like, oh, this is the greatest. And I wrote it down. And the next year I went to teach it. And it was, the kids thought I'd fell in the shower that morning. They could not follow at all. And
That's the worst feeling.
It was awful, because I was like, oh, well, this is solid. This is going to be a lesson, because it worked so great last year. And it was bad. It was bad 2 times over.
It's fun when you, like now I've got 4 of the same classes, and, sometimes you'll forget what you said and, whatnot between them, but then you do find that thing that you're like, this is it. Like, you can judge, when you're talking to them, you're like, they get it, they're connected. And it's, for some reason with me, it's always that 4th class.
You find it. Yeah.
I know that I'm doing it right. And I'll do it exactly the same way, and they will just stare at me, and I'm like, listen, it's not me, it's you.
We had that problem, I feel like, with IB Film. We just see those kids once. We get one shot at that class.
Yeah.
And so whatever we deliver, that's kind of it. We don't have the second or third period of IB Film to kind of figure stuff out. But after that day, I felt like, wow, I should have known a million things better in terms of biting off more than we could chew and just focus on this. But I just got so excited by the idea of 4D filmmaking. We're going to be so creative. And they're just like, I don't even know what language that, what you were asking me to do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We were fine. Josh and I had a conversation. We should have recorded immediately after, in terms of, here's what went wrong and here's how to fix that. And I took some notes and took a picture of it, but we should have recorded it.
Yeah.
But I'll probably write about that failure coming up, just in terms of how to navigate those, or have some contingency plans in place.
So I got to ask, are you guys hitting the thumbs up button, or is it something on my computer that's randomly hitting it?
I was like, man, maybe Tom's marking things by hitting thumbs up.
Oh, I saw that.
No,
but no, it's not us.
And I have no idea. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know how.
It's probably AI just loving this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wait, I did just do one.
I did
it
down there. No, I just did that one down there on the screen. Oh, also, Adam, I have to confess, until about 4 minutes ago, you only had one S in your name, so forgive me.
Oh man, that's all right.
Well, I sent you guys a picture of my setup, and all I can see is you guys, and I can see just the tops of the letters of your name. I was like, oh, that only has one S, you idiot.
Oh, it's no biggie. If that's as bad as it gets, I'll survive.
So, what do you guys have coming up next week or this week? Anything good?
Well, we've got one more week till spring break. Is that right? Or do
We
have
do. We're like
weeks?
4 class periods.
Wow. So that's man, this semester, this year even has just been incredibly fast. So I'm hoping to kind of just keep up the pace and get to spring break and just kind of, breathe for a minute, and we'll see what happens from that point. I do have several articles that are going to be coming out, hopefully, some posts for us. I have one on Adobe Enhance that I wrote about a little bit in an article I did on AI. And then this, I kind of expanded it, and I have a little tutorial video walking through that. I have a girl had recorded an interview just using the on-camera mic and a Canon M50. So just a little mirrorless camera and the onboard mic. And it was in like a ballroom, and she was playing it, and I'm like, no, we cannot use that. That's horrible. I was like, you know what? Give it to me. So she sent me that clip, and I was like, let's see what we can do. So I walked her through the process of putting that into Premiere, taking out exporting just the audio, uploading that into Adobe Enhance, and put it back into Premiere. And seriously, my mind, I gotta say this in the video, my mind is just blown, like how incredible AI is and how good it's going to make us look, regardless of our ability levels. It covers a multitude of sins. So I've got that coming out, and just a couple of other things. Talk about some in-house communication things that I use. We use Slack, and I have an article just going through Slack, and it'd be really awesome if Slack would send me money, because this is a significant brag about their product, but it has been, aside from Rundown Creator, it is the most impactful software that I have brought into my program, and it's free.
And we use it at the university as well. I've got 8 Slack channels.
Yeah, I love it. So
it's for our Monday and Wednesday news show. It's the main communication tool between the professor and the students during production. They Slack her a copy of their scripts with their sources and all of that. She reviews it. She marks it up. She sends it back. Anytime, producers hey, yesterday, our producer Slacked hey guys, it's crunch time. Let's get your stuff in. It's a great communication tool. Yesterday, crunch time people, get your stuff in. Let me know if you're running behind. And that just is an easy way to pop information to a mass. It's an app for your phone. It's an app on computers. It's a URL if you don't want to put an app on something, like if you're at a temporary computer. It's a great tool.
And what I love it so much for, I don't want to talk too much about it because I want people to actually read the article, but you can share files so easily. You can send a full resolution video through it, and you're not losing quality. Whereas if you were to try to email that to somebody or whatever, you're going to lose quality, and it transcribes it when you send it.
Yeah.
So there's so many great things about it. But yeah, I'll have that article coming out. Actually, I think I have that coming out in a couple of weeks, but very excited.
Cool. Adam, what you got going on, bud?
Let's see. I think article-wise, I'm looking at some color theory. I'm going to talk about that with Josh. We leave here in terms of production and or post-production using color. And then our IB students are gearing up for their 4,000 word extended essay research project. So I'm thinking about showing my approach to that. I feel like I've got a decent approach that scores a decent number of A's in on the film extended essay. So that's what I'm looking at, and then looking forward to spring break, doing nothing, staying here. Might go see Evil Dead 2 at the 5 Points. Bruce Campbell coming to town and is going to do a little meet and greet, and then you'll stay and watch Evil Dead 2.
Nice.
So y'all are spring break next week.
Week after.
Week after, gotcha. Okay.
Week after, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
What about you? Y'all are coming off of spring break, right?
Yeah, we're done with spring break, man. We are
We're rolling to the end.
Yeah, we're I think our last I know our last show is April 17th for news, and it's the 24th or 28th, whatever that Friday is, for sports. So yeah, we're winding down quickly. And it feels like it just flew by. You know, Josh said it earlier that this year has really just kind of skipped by. And, you know, the hard part for me to adjust to is, you know, we don't do a show really the first month of the semester and kind of the last month of the semester. So it really kind of crams in there.
Yeah, it does.
Pretty quick on us. So,
so tell me, how do you get, like, do you cover all sports things? Like,
no. So, we have the Carmichael Sports Media Institute. It's actually how I got involved with Grady. They do a sports show on Fridays, focusing primarily on local high schools and kind of telling some of those stories. So Clark Central High School, Cedar Shoals High School, the Oconee County Schools. I think they're going to Winder this week. So they do a ESPN style show, like, for lack of a better descriptor, a studio show for that. In the fall, we're going to change it up a little bit. And this past fall, we did 4 football games, I believe it was, and then like 4 basketball games, and do those live next year. I opened my big fat mouth and had a great idea that I'm a lot nervous about. We're going to do football. We're going to do football as a network style show. So, you know, Run a Show will be in studio show and then throw it to a local game where we'll do a multicam production actually mixed on our TriCaster back here at Grady. And then halftime back to Grady for the studio show, as well as remote check-ins from 6 or 8 different schools around the area via Zoom. Back out for second half, post-show check-ins, all that stuff. We're going to use Live View or some kind of bonded cellular technology to get the signal back here from the game of the week. So it'll be interesting. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm not nervous about it. It's going to be a big.
Sounds very manageable.
Yeah, you know, 40 people spread all over across Northeast Georgia, working with a volunteer production staff. No, it's going to be great. It really, yeah. Our production staff's all volunteer. That's the other cool thing about kind of seeing that window into what we do behind the scenes is it's all volunteer. So yeah, a little nervous about that, but so we're next semester we're going to do that in the fall, and then just news shows in the spring next year. So. Yeah, we don't do anything university.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got 2 things for you. One, how about taking a live hit from Marietta High School? We can NDI send you in remote connection, one like some of our game.
Yeah, I mean,
idea.
Totally possible. I mean, literally, with the Zoom integration that we have with the TriCaster TC2. The students, we did it for the election show. They just went out with their phone and their AirPods, and they set their phone on a tripod. They had a program monitor. They could hear program in their ears, and they were reporting from all over the state live. And that's the plan for football next year. And you know, we could definitely take some additional feeds depending on the game and, you know, what the students want. The beautiful thing about that is, we don't tell them what to cover. They're going to go and find it and go from there. So, you know, maybe that is a doable thing.
All right. So the second thing is March 27th. You got anything going on?
March 27th could be a very busy day. Professor V here at News Source is actually in Romania. She's gone to do something. So tomorrow I'm going to play her role on the news show. And I may have to do that on that Monday. as well as present at the Georgia Scholastic Press Association's Spring Conference and Awards, which I'm really excited about. I love doing that. I've got a presentation I'm pretty excited about. I polished it up this week. I haven't presented it yet, so it could be awesome or awful. We don't know yet. But it's about writing leads and finding ways to get consumers, and I'll define the word consumer in that presentation, to read your rest of your story or watch the rest of your story, depending on your medium. But it's going to break down some things that I've learned. I mean, in my intro slide, I say that I'm the engineer here at Grady, and my job includes turning on the lights, turning on the cameras, and spying on the professors and stealing things to share to the high school students at presentations. Because one of the things that I heard over and over and over again, and then once I did research for this presentation, I found out it was a normal thing, were umbrella leads. I'd never heard of an umbrella lead, and now I'm like, this would be perfect for high schools. So
Yeah.
I'm probably going to see if I can record that, even if it's just an audio recording, and
Yeah,
share
be
that
great. That's smart.
on the site. And I also started working on my Camp T&I presentations this week, so going to be presenting a good bit here soon.
Good stuff, man. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'll see you next week.
Yeah.
What's the 27th though?
Huh?
What's the 27th?
The
GSPA awards.
Scholastic
Yeah.
Press.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So
maybe Russell could like hop in your carry-on and ride out here, and we could do a roundtable in person.
Oh yeah.
His sister-in-law will be there. So
My sister-in-law?
Yeah.
Oh, Andrea.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have a sister-in-law.
She does our newspaper.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
It looked like that caught him completely off.
Wow,
Yeah,
it did, man. It
We're
really
blindsided
did.
by this.
It threw him for a loop. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. It's going to be a good day. I've got to figure out how to make it all happen, but it's going to be a good day. I'm excited. I'm really excited about the presentation. It's going to be an opportunity. One of the things that I've always wanted to do in presentations is make them interactive and make them something that everybody can walk away with something tangible. And I've done that in here. I mean, there's going to be hopefully some students who will stand up and present. If not, I'll harass a certain Blue Devil video teacher to make him do it. We're going to be working on leads. It's going to also work on some presentation notes and that kind of stuff, and really how easy leads can be to write and go from there.
All right, Tom, you got to talk about the hat before we go.
Hat is the AA affiliate for the Florida Marlins, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. And this, I've never been there, but their president and general manager and I were fraternity brothers together. So
what? You need to get them to sponsor the show. Every hat you wear, you should reach out to that franchise and be like, hey.
Like I said last week, man, Kelly told me I needed to make an Amazon list. And I was like, MILB shop. Just send them there.
Yeah.
But now John Griffith is their president and CEO, and he and I went to college together. And, the Blue Wahoo Stadium made the news during the lockdown because you could Airbnb their stadium during the lockdown.
Oh.
So you had access to the batting cages, you had access to the field, you had access, and you could stay overnight in I don't remember the name of their stadium, but their stadium. So yeah, Pensacola Blue Wahoos, definitely a place I'd support.
Nice.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well,
all right, gentlemen.
I think it's about time to. Oh man, I didn't use a single sound pad. I threatened to do it.
I kept waiting.
Yeah. Here.
Just hit one now, man.
There we go. This my use of the sound pad. Sorry.
Sad trombone.
Sad trombone. But all right, boys. Well, Josh, I will see you on Monday, and hopefully you guys have a great week as you start wrapping up, heading towards spring break in a week or so.
Yeah, man. We do the same.
Looking forward to it.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a great one.
All right, guys.